Yeah. Okay, so welcome. Uh, this session is going to be about something that we have as products and we do, and hopefully it will inspire you in some ways. And if it does, then ask questions in the end, and I'll be glad to answer them. So basically, my company is 2 4U. We are in business since 2000, so that's 25 years and a little bit. This is part of our team, not the whole. You can see some of the faces here in person. You can see some others. And we are a software company, or started as a software company. Now we are also a hardware company, but software was the part of our business from the beginning. And we started as a company doing software solutions for customers in Czech Republic originally. But since then, we grew to have customers in 79 countries. Probably going to add one more before the end of the year, hopefully. So we'll have 80. And over 100 people that we have to deal with. The team here is the software part of it, where we basically take care of software solutions with our customers. And that, when I'm saying software solutions, that does not only mean software. We also integrate software with hardware, which means that we connect the physical world with the software running on the computers, and that's something that we do since 2008. So we have a lot of experience already, and that's quite a useful way to push the borders of what FileMaker and software can do, because often it's we humans who have to work as that interface between the physical world and the software. But sometimes that can be automated to save the human work and make you more efficient by directly connecting the physical world to the software. And that has two parts. One is actually getting data from the physical world, like reading sensors, and the other part is controlling the physical world, like moving things with motors, switching electrical devices on and off, and things like that. Another thing that we are focusing on for a long time already is benchmarking and performance optimizations. So we even built our own software called FMBench that helps you to benchmark your solution and find bottlenecks within it, and find the right place which desires the optimization. Because what we learned is that as a developers, what we feel is the bottleneck of a solution is not always the real bottleneck. So we can easily spend a lot of time trying to optimize something that doesn't have to be optimized while keeping the real bottleneck intact. So our tool, FMBench, will help you to actually find the right bottleneck and optimize it. Or you can hire us to do it for you. So you don't have to learn a new tool. You can just pay us to take your solution and give it back to you much faster. But today I'm going to talk about managing events and tracking stuff. I will start with managing events, even though the session name was tracking stuff, because one of the products that we have, we actually used even to help manage another FileMaker conference, the German-speaking FileMaker conference in Hamburg. It's a tool that we call Scavent. It's an acronym built from scan and event, because we started organizing our own events every year, teacher summits, and those teacher summits, when we reached about 80 people coming in, and we're looking for a way how to quickly register them as incoming attendees, we discovered that we need to optimize this process, because everyone was coming within like half an hour. And if within 30 minutes you need to take care of 80 or more people, and you want to avoid them waiting, you need to do something with technology for that. So we built this tool for ourselves, and we kept improving it over the years, for more than 10 years. And just last year, we started offering it to other companies as well. And the organizers of the FileMaker conference are one example. Another example is another teachers event that's happening in Czech Republic. That's a summer school for teachers, which for the first time this year, we supported with Scavent as well. And it was a great success. So on this video, you see Scavent in action. And some examples of what Scavent includes are on these pictures, like this nice big screen dashboard, which tells everyone what is the current program, where to go, things like that. And this is the registration of the incoming attendees, printing badges on site, etc. So let me briefly talk about the features of Scavent. And I have divided it into 3 parts. Preparation of the event, managing the event as it's happening, and post-processing the event. So before event, we have an event website where we automatically publish the program of the event, the agenda, and also the list of all speakers. We also manage registering attendees for the event, including a limited space for workshops where, for instance, at the Teacher Summit, we have 12 workshops running at the same time. Each one is limited typically to a maximum 20 people. So we need the attendees to register for individual workshop ahead of time and manage the capacity. Another thing is we issue tickets with barcodes, and we send them to the registered attendees so that they can come with the ticket, and that can speed up the incoming attendees handling process. Then we print badges, which we have currently 2 kinds supported. One kind is similar to this one, which is printed on paper, cut, put in the badge holder. The other one was the one you saw, which we printed for the FileMaker conference, which was plastic cards of the credit card size. And one great example, what was very well received, not many event organizers do that. We print the same info on both sides of the badge so that when the badge gets rotated, you don't hide the name of the attendee, but everyone can still see it. On the badges for the FileMaker conference, we also printed QR codes on the badge, where the QR code leads to downloading a V-card, the contact information of the attendee. So when 2 people meet at the conference, it's very easy to scan the QR code to get a contact information. And each attendee also gets another QR code which they can use to edit the contact information that they are sharing. It's also secured by expiration date, so when the event finishes, the V-cards are no longer available. So when someone takes a picture, publishes it on the social media, no one can read the QR code after the conference is over. We also have feedback forms. In our case, in the case of the Teacher Summits, we discovered that it still makes sense to use paper feedback forms today. And one main reason is that people like to deal with paper, and the paper has no limits. They can draw images on it. And we do get a lot of feedback where people draw images like smileys and even more complex images on the feedback forms, which is, by the way, great to capture and use to promote the next event. So we didn't switch to digital feedback forms yet for this particular reason. The other one is we collect all those feedback forms and then randomly select 3 for physical prizes. We also give away bags, but rather than having all the bags same, we have personalized materials in the bags. So every bag has a number, and when an attendee comes to the event, we give them the right bag. And by automating the registration process, we can give away the bags very fast. Which leads me to the next stage, and that's managing during event, where the first step is scanning the tickets. By scanning it with either phone or even physical barcode scanner, we immediately know who has come. And another screen on iPad in this case tells the other member of the team which number of the bag to pick up and prepare for the attendee. Well, we had the feeling that it's helping us, but it was right at the summer school for teachers this year when we got the most important feedback. And one of the organizers told me, well, what I like the most about this process is that when someone comes, I don't have to deal with the stuff to give that attendee. I can just talk to the attendee, because while I'm talking to him, the other team member prepares everything for him, so we can interact. We don't have to deal with the physical stuff. We can interact, talk, how he is doing, how was the trip, what he is expecting, and that interaction is a great value for us that we can get by having this registration automated. As part of this process, we also get the information about how many attendees have already come. Which, and by the way, we also print badges at the event. Well, we have never had an event where everything would be printed ahead of time, without errors, without people making changes. Always someone comes ad hoc, someone discovers that they have submitted the name wrong or something else. So we always print a few badges at the event site. So that's part of what we do, and if we support the event physically. And we have these big dashboards. The dashboard consists of multiple parts. One part is the current program, which is constantly updated. If there are program changes, like something is delayed, some speaker gets ill, or whatever reason, we can update the program, and within a minute, it gets updated on the dashboard. It can get updated on the website as well. But people are used to just stand in front of the dashboard and talk about which session they are going to for the next time. They also like to watch on the right side. We have a slideshow where we show photos of the event. Initially, it's preloaded with the photos from the previous event, but after a few hours, we already have fresh photos. We can update them and show them on the dashboard, and people like to see themselves on the photos. So they simply stare at the dashboard and talk about it. We also show the current number of attendees. The other thing here is the profile updates. So as I said, we can update the program, and as you saw that QR code, attendees can update their profile. For instance, when they registered for a workshop, and at the event they discover that they would like to go to a different workshop, they can change the registration on the fly. And the slideshow can be easily updated at the same time. Lately we have updated it so we can just supply a folder of photos and batch import it to the solution and update the dashboards. And with RFID, we can also track the attendees. So for instance, if you want to have exact stats of how many people visited which session, if you want to know where all the attendees are at the moment, this is also possible. And this is fancy, but if you, for instance, get a goodie in the bag, like a nice bag to carry bottles of alcohol, then it's easy to see where in Antwerp all the attendees are. Well, this is actually Antwerp map around the Hilton Hotel. So you can see how tracking can look. This is actually a fake, so don't be afraid that you have a tracking chip in the goodie bag. But, well, technically it could be possible as well. And the next part is after event. So when the event is over, what we also do is we distribute certificates to the attendees, especially for the events that we do for teachers. It's very useful that they get certificate that they attended a conference. Then we evaluate all the feedback forms and produce a nice report that we give to speakers and also sponsors. Specifically, our teacher summit gets sponsored by Apple, and Apple always wants to know some stats of how many people attended the event, and what the evaluation was. We also select testimonials from the feedback forms, which we can then publish on the website, and that gets loaded automatically on the website from Scavent. And also some photo documentary. And finally, we publish a pre-registration for the next event. So even without being ready to register everyone, we run a mailing list where people can sign up to get updated information about the next event when it's ready. So that was about Scavent. And now let me talk about Tracksy and tracking stuff. You have already heard about RFID, right? Who does not know what RFID stands for? Okay, so everyone knows, great. We started using RFID back in 2009, I believe. Originally just the low frequency RFID, which is used only from small proximity, which is great for identifying people, like opening doors, things like that. And later on, as we grew, we started using different frequencies and different applications for RFID tracking. One, the most interesting is UHF frequency, which allows you to scan RFID chips from a long distance up to 10 or maybe even more meters, which is quite interesting because you can, for instance, have a box full of items, and without opening that box, you can just scan what's inside, which saves a lot of time. So when you want to implement RFID, and by the way, one main reason for us starting to use RFID is that it became affordable. It's not a new technology. It was developed around the Second World War, and it started to be used in industry in 50s, 60s of the second century. But just around the 2000, the prices went down so much that single RFID reader can be bought for less than 500 euros, and the RFID chips today can be bought for less than 10 cents per chip if you buy them in bulk. Which makes the technology interesting not only for big corporate companies, but also for small businesses. Even if you just sell 1,000 items a month, it can be interesting to use RFID because it can save a lot of time. So how you can implement RFID with FileMaker? If you do it the FileMaker way, meaning that you write scripts, you implement it yourself, you can use some of our products, plugins, to use it, to do it. And then it's quite affordable because the only thing you have to pay is your time and a little bit for the plugin license. But the plugin license is relatively cheap compared to the hardware, so it's almost negligible. And depending on whether you want to use it on a mobile device or on a desktop, different products apply to this solution. You can find these products on our website. If you go to Tools, and if you go to News and search for RFID, you will find a lot of articles and videos explaining how you can work with RFID and how you can implement it in FileMaker. So that's the FileMaker way, the easy way where you just create scripts in FileMaker Pro, and when you want to scan an RFID chip, you just press a button, run a script, it scans an RFID, and that's it. Then, if you want to utilize the automated reading, like stationary readers, you can also do it yourself. It's just not as easy as writing simple scripts. You have to buy some of the one of the stationary RFID readers. Most of them come with some kind of web interface or HTTP possibilities, so you can follow their manuals and set it up. And you can use either OData or Data API to connect to FileMaker server. The typical way to implement it is that you set up the reader so that when it notices an RFID tag, it will send a HTTP request to the FileMaker server and create a record or run a script, something like that. This is the way how we first implemented RFID, the stationary RFID readers in our company. Because we do a lot of hardware integrations, as I mentioned, we were looking for a way how to keep everything organized. So we installed stationary RFID reader in our cabinet, equipped every item with an RFID chip, so that when someone borrows a piece of hardware, we automatically notice that it has disappeared from the cabinet. When it's returned, we notice that it's back. The problem with this approach is that the RFID reader, typical industrial RFID reader, can read up to 2,000 tags per second. So if you, for instance, have a box full of items and go and pass by an antenna, you can easily get the FileMaker server immediately overloaded. So it involves extra work on your side to prevent this. You have to come up with something that deals with the RFID data coming in and make sure that you don't overload the server. Johan has a good experience with that. He has a solution that actually works as a proxy between web clients and the FileMaker server to manage that overload and prevent it. And he can confirm that it's a lot of work to deal with it. Another good example, what we developed this year, is an RFID attendance system where we have readers. People can scan chips, and by scanning them, they are logging that they have come to the office or that they are leaving. This was on demand of our customer, but in order to make it a little bit better than just something in the home garage, we decided to make it secure and reliable and easy to install for the customer. So we built Raspberry Pi based server that is a kind of controller for all the RFID readers that is locked inside the office, and that handles all the readers for checking whether they should let the employee in, decide on whatever business process to trigger, and the reader itself has no logic on it, no intelligence. So even when someone tries to break it, open it, and cheat it, it's safe because there is nothing that you can do to fake the controller with wrong data. You have to have the physical chip, and otherwise you would have to kind of reverse engineer the internal protocol of the fidgets hardware that we use in order to be able to fake the chip that you don't have. So it's secure, and by having it completely deployed on the Raspberry Pi, we can just supply the customer with a box that just works on the network. They just turn it on, configure a few options, and that's it. And we 3D printed the box to hold the RFID reader itself, so that it's custom box that they mount on the wall. No wires visible, and it looks nice. Now, as I mentioned, this was the hard way. If you want to do it the easy way, you can simply let us implement it for you. And for that purpose, we created Tracksy as a product that combines all the knowledge that we gained over the years. It includes application that listens for all the talks to all the stationary RFID readers and handles that huge load and balances it and only delivers meaningful events information into FileMaker server. It uses OData to talk to the FileMaker server. And then we have a mobile version of Tracksy that you can use in a field. For instance, for inventory counting, you go to warehouse with a mobile phone and RFID reader, and you just scan everything in the inventory in the warehouse to check whether everything is there. We can because we use FileMaker, as you all know, it can be easily integrated with other systems. So we can integrate it with the customer's ERP, whether it's running on FileMaker or Oracle or any other system, as long as it has an API or it talks to a SQL database. And for the mobile interface, we use our plugins. We use our tool called Xgode to build the application. For desktop application, we use other plugins to connect to, for instance, RFID printer to print RFID labels. And the stationary readers are configured in a way that you can have any number of readers, any number of antennas, because on the Tracksy side, you can select any combination of antennas and readers as a checkpoint. I will talk about it in a moment. This is a video that we have on the website to show what Tracksy can do. Basically, the point is that anything can be tracked with RFID within your control facility. It can be people, it can be goods, it can be orders, it can be basically anything that you can stick a label to. And it's focused on the controlled facility. So if you have like building with multiple rooms, then you can basically have readers everywhere to notice where things are. The concept of Tracksy is that there is an onboarding process where you start tracking something by issuing a label and registering it in the system. And then there is some event that can be the offboarding. For instance, when you are tracking orders, shipping the order to the customer can be the offboarding event, which tells Tracksy that this item is no longer going to be tracked. We have recently updated Tracksy so that it's even more compatible. So we support all RFID readers which are compatible with the LLRP protocol. And this is how it works under the hood. So in the center of Tracksy, there's a Tracksy app, which currently is built with a Go language to make it reliable and fast enough to handle all the hardware RFID readers. We can even have multiple instances of the Tracksy app. Then we have a FileMaker database that handles all the events, and that can be integrated with other solutions. So how it works? We start with the concept of items. Item is something that you want to track. So the items can be either manually created in Tracksy, or they can come from your own system, whatever it is. So for instance, if we are tracking orders, in your ERP, an order gets created, and then it's up to you whether you push the order to Tracksy or whether Tracksy pulls it from your system through an API. It becomes an item, and as part of the onboarding process, you can assign barcode and RFID codes to the item. We support more than one RFID code because it may make sense for you to have more than one RFID tag attached to an item, especially when you want high reliability. For instance, RFID tags readability depends on the position of the tag. So there's radio waves coming through the tag, and if you rotate it in some certain way, it becomes kind of invisible for the RFID reader. So if you want a high reliability, it's a good idea to have one label on one side of a box and another label on another side of the box. Then at least one of those labels get noticed. For each item, we have possibility to enable or disable tracking. So when it's disabled, it just doesn't generate any events. When it is enabled, anytime it gets noticed or disappears from a distance, from a visibility from a reader, it generates an event. And there we have a list of events that are relevant for that item. Then the next concept is checkpoints. So checkpoint is typically some place. It can be either a place where items are stored, like this room or a cabinet, or a position in a cabinet, or it can be door, gate, something that items pass through or pass by. So those are the two types of checkpoints that we support. Basically, when it's a place, like a room, then we support events like tag has appeared and tag has disappeared. So when you put something in a cabinet, like in our solution where we track our hardware, appeared means that you have returned thing, disappeared means that you have taken it out of the cabinet. When you have a pass-through checkpoint like door, we track events a little bit differently. We need at least two antennas, one pointing out and one pointing in, and then we can tell whether the item has passed through the door from out to in, or from inside to out, or whether it has passed by outside or inside. So this is quite useful. It's more accurate than the stationary position because RFID tags reading is the most reliable when the tag tag is moving compared to the antenna. So when the antenna and the tag are stationary, there is a high chance that it might be invisible to the antenna. But when the tag is moving, there is a high probability that it will get noticed, because if it's invisible in one position, once you move it 1 centimeter, it becomes visible to the antenna. So pass-through checkpoints are quite important and typically more reliable than the stationary checkpoints. And for locating items or placing item in a position locally within a checkpoint, like a cabinet, we also have a solution for indicating position with LED stripes. This is something that originally was developed for a customer in the US dealing with the semiconductor industry, where they were storing chip matrices for high for like processors and different kinds of chips, and the matrix for a single chip is a thing that typically can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It can be stolen because for instance, when the semiconductor company creates a new chip, there is a huge value in that chip because they are ahead of the competition. So they don't want even the employees to know which matrix is for which chip. So they just have barcodes on them, and the system randomizes the position in the warehouse. So when they are storing it in the warehouse, the system tells them, well, put it in that position. And to know which position they should put it, we just light the LED stripe, show here, put it here. And when they want to pick up something, again, we light the position, pick it up from here. So I talked about items and checkpoints. And the third concept in Tracksy is events. So whenever something happens with an item, it becomes an event, like it has appeared, disappeared. And on the mobile device, then we have inventory counting. So that's an extra event that you can generate. Something is missing or something is confirmed to be there. So when all the items that are supposed to be in a room are registered as in that room, and you want to do inventory counting, which in most countries is a mandatory process to do on a regular basis, you can just go there with an iPad and use any kind of scanning device. You can see in the bottom that we support 4 different ways of marking items as found. Obviously, the slowest one is manual, so that's as a backup for the case something doesn't work. You can go and manually mark, okay, I found this item, I have found this one, and so on. We can use barcode reading with a device camera. That's the built-in FileMaker feature. We can use a physical barcode scanner, which is about twice as fast and more reliable, even in bad light conditions. And finally, but it was the first feature, we can use an RFID scanner. And scanning it with RFID typically is a process which involves just holding a scanner and going by the shelf and waiting for everything to read, and takes just a few seconds to scan everything. So that's how Tracksy works and what it includes. Important thing is, even if you don't need it for yourself, you might utilize it for your customers, and you can just resell it to them and make money on the margin or the commission. So we are ready to help you to equip your customers with this technology, and it can still be your solution that you deliver to the customer just based on our technology. And the same applies to Scavent as well. So most of you work with customers as a solution providers. So we don't steal customers. We collaborate with other Claris partners and developers, and we just can provide the technology that we have ready for you to use it for your customers. So I was a little bit shorter, but that's it what I had, and I'm ready to answer any questions you may have. And if you don't come up with questions here, feel free to schedule a call with me. For instance, when you reach when you stumble upon a customer who may need RFID tracking or managing events, feel free to schedule a call with me to talk about it at any time. Thank you. Yes, Werner.
Is it a one-time payment for Tracksy, or is it a yearly subscription, or how does that work?
So Tracksy, because that's the most comfortable solution which includes everything, including the implementation. So we have a one-time cost for implementation that's a little bit higher, and then we have an annual maintenance fee because, for instance, the mobile app needs updating every year. Otherwise, it stops working. We need to update the technology from time to time. So yeah, there's both. The initial cost is higher, the annual cost is lower, and the actual cost depends on the size of the implementation. So basically, it starts at around 10,000 euros for the initial and 5,000 per year for the smallest installation, where it covers typically one stationary reader and one label printer. But depending on the size of the installation, the price can be adjusted. We don't have fixed pricing yet because we don't have any installations larger than 2 readers. So right now we are open to negotiations so that it makes sense to you and your customer. Just talk to me and tell me what you need, and we will come up with something that works.
Thank you.
Yes.
So you said the RFID is secure, but my understanding is that it's a basic handshake that's done, if even that, like with the communication between the tag and the reader. And isn't that majorly susceptible to any kind of man-in-the-middle attack?
So at which point you are concerned about the security? You mean the UHF or the attendance system? Which part of the use are you referring to?
No, well, I was thinking in the tracking of the items in a warehouse or whatever it was, particularly the chips, the valuable chips.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't someone simply add a small device which will replicate the signal? Because it's transparent communication, is it not?
So RFID in terms of reading the chips is not significantly more secure than barcodes. Mm-hmm. RFID chip typically is just holding information, and standard RFID chips are just responding to the signal and returning the information on demand. There are RFID chips which can be encrypted, but typically they are not used for the mass scanning or the distance scanning. And a great example are all wireless payment cards. So wireless payment cards is based on RFID technology because NFC is a subset of RFID. So it has a dedicated bandwidth called high frequency, and typically on the NFC range, you can get chips which have built-in encryption mechanisms, and so only a reader that supplies a valid key can read and write the chip, and no one else.
So do you support this?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Is there any buffer that keep the data that you read in the Raspberry Pi if the server is not available?
You're referring to the attendance system, I
Yes.
guess.
Yes,
Yes,
sorry.
exactly. So the point of the Raspberry Pi, besides other things, is that it doesn't require the FileMaker server to be always available. It depends on how we set it up. It's a standalone device that can run on its own, and we can customize it. It's all running our code, so whatever you need to modify in the behavior, we can do that. It's just a matter of paying the time for the customization. I would maybe add to that security. Our plugins currently support just the basic open communication with the RFID tags. I think the only device where there was where we have a limited encryption support is infinite peripherals devices, but if you have an application for encrypted RFID tags, then we can definitely customize it and make it work. It's just a matter of adding a few features to the plugin. Any other questions? Okay, if that's it, I have a different question. We as a company, you may have noticed, have an initiative that we are trying to push Claris to make the FileMaker calculation engine significantly faster. Has all of you already voted for getting calculations faster, or is there someone who has not yet?
Maybe you should
Okay.
tell them why it's needed as well.
Yeah, sure. So basically the idea is, you may have noticed that with every version, Claris tries to make FileMaker faster in some way. What we discovered is that every single time this has happened, it had almost no impact on our solutions, and typically, in order to have impact, we would have to make some changes in our solutions. Well, calculations are used almost in every single solution. There are people who use them more heavily, there are people who use them less heavily, and every new version of FileMaker is adding more and more places where you can use calculations. As one example, I've tried to build a sample layout and put calculations in every place where I could. The layout had just 2 fields, 2 portals, 2 button bars, 2 tab controls, and 2 web viewers. And I was surprised how many times the calculation engine was actually triggered, just to show that layout. It was 692 times. So it does matter whether a calculation takes 1 millisecond or 1 microsecond to evaluate. I first thought about making the calculation engine faster a few years ago when I was implementing a barcode generator using FileMaker calculations. And I had a hard time optimizing it so that it generated the QR codes fast enough so that it would be usable. So I did some tests, and I discovered that in some operations, JavaScript was more than 1,000 times faster than FileMaker calculations, even though even JavaScript is just interpreted language. So I did some more tests. I wrote calculations, one dealing with text and one dealing with math. I used probably the most commonly used functions which are used in every business application. And I wrote the same code in FileMaker, Python, PHP, and JavaScript and compared the speed of all those. And based on that, I suggested to Claris to make the calculation engine significantly faster, where I didn't get any response within 3 years. So I started initiative which we called Initiative 24. We started it in 2024, and because it was the 24th anniversary of our company, and I was twice 24 with my age. So I kind of took that 24 as a magic number, and I set a goal to make the calculation engine 24 times faster. And I started collecting votes. So over time, I collected over 500 votes for the idea in the Claris community. And right now, it's the number 2 of all time voted ideas in the ideas list in that Claris community. And I set the target as the number of votes that the first idea get, which is horizontal portals, +1. So if we reach the target with your help, the idea to get the calculation engine significantly faster will become the number 1. And I think that's going to be a strong argument for Claris to actually pay attention to it and put some effort into making the calculation engine faster. We already also suggested some ways how it could be made faster, and Christian Schmitz, author of the MBS plugin, even suggested 12 specific ideas how the calculation engine code could be optimized to run faster. The only thing is missing is someone at the top management of Claris to decide, yes, we want to invest in this. So that's why I'm asking for your votes, because that's the way how to push Claris to actually listen to us. And the reason I'm suggesting this is, as I mentioned, in the past, Claris has made several improvements in performance, but none of them has impacted all users. Making the calculation engine faster is going to impact every single user without anyone making any change in the solutions. And we have already seen this in FileMaker 22 with the JSON functions. So with JSON looping through at least 5,000 nodes, it is actually 28 times faster than FileMaker 21. So that's the first step, but we want to see it in all functions, not just JSON. Yes?
How do we find this in the Claris community?
Okay, so the best way to find this is come to our booth. We have a QR code that you can scan, and we also have a physical progress indicator where you can mark your vote, which is pretty neat, much more fun than just voting online. and we are very close. Last week we were missing 272, I guess, votes to reach the target. And before I went here to this room, we were missing about 120. And
also have a question about your synthetic idea. Can you repeat? Yes. I also have a small question about your idea. I sometimes thought that FileMaker itself was afraid to change the Draco engine. Is that actually the calculation part you are talking about?
Well, yes and no. The calculation engine is part of the Draco engine. There are other parts of Draco engine that they're afraid to change. But you can try to think of it just like with your solutions. If you're afraid to change your solution, you're not going to improve it, right? So you need to find it there to change it. And the idea is that because there are other scripting platforms or scripting languages which can run 1,000 times faster, it means there is a space for improvement. And one thing that I heard as an argument, well, we don't want to break existing solutions. They don't have to. The calculations can give exactly the same result. They can keep working faster, yet they can be they can keep return work in the same way, yet they can do it faster. We just need Claris to be willing to spend money and time and effort into optimizing the code. And the JSON was a great example. The JSON functions work still the same way. They are just faster because they found something that they could optimize. And one example, one of the functions that gets slower with the amount of text that you're processing is get value. If you use get value with a long list of items, the farther you look in the list of items, the slower it is. But it is slow even for the first value. Why? Because it's inefficient, and it can be more efficient. And also there are some situations where the functions are where the calculations are slow because they are ready for some edge cases. For instance, FileMaker is always using big math. You can use create calculations which work reliably with like 100-digit numbers. But in how many cases you need 100-digit numbers? Most of FileMaker solutions are business applications that deal with dollar values, with typically up to 6 digits and not more. So if we make it faster for these business apps and only keep the slowness for the big math, then 99% of all users are going to be happy. And those who need the big math have a good reason to wait because they need it. So it's just about looking for ways how to improve the speed instead of looking for reasons why not to. What?
It sounds like petrol cars. Reasons to keep them the same.
Yeah. Any more questions? Okay, then thanks a lot for your attention. And those who want to come to vote for the faster calculation engine, feel free to come with me and I will help you to do that. Thanks.